Okay, part 2. This evening, Billy and I had our birthday cake from Granny May as usual. The chief and crew were all there as well, so the cake didn't last long. They sang happy birthday to us, and then the chief said we were all a little less poor because Laura Perryman had spotted the General Lee. And I felt good. They were all smiling at me. Now's the time, I thought. I'll ask them again. Can I row with Billy in the gig? They all laughed and said what they always said, that girls don't row in gigs. They never had. I went to the hen house and cried. It's the only place I can cry in peace. And then Granny May came in with the last piece of cake and said there are plenty of things that women can do that men can't. Doesn't seem that way to me. I want to row in that gig, and I will. One day I will. Billy came into my room just now. He's had another argument with Father. This time, the milk buckets weren't clean enough. There's always something, and Father will shout at him. Billy says he wants to go to America and that one day he will. He's always saying things like that. I wish he wouldn't, because it frightens me. And I wish Father would be kinder to him. February 12th, the night of the storm. A terrible storm last night, and the pine tree at the bottom of the garden came down, missing the hen house by a whisker. The wind was so loud we never even heard it fall. I'm sure the hens did. We've lost more slates off the roof above Billy's room, but we were lucky. The end of Granny May's roof has gone completely. It just lifted off in the night. It's sitting lopsided across her escallonia hedge. Okay, that's a word I've never seen. Escallonia. It's a type of hedge. Father's been up there all day trying to do what he can to keep the rain out. Everyone would be there helping, but there isn't a building on the island that hasn't been battered. Granny May just sat down in her kitchen all day and shook her head. She wouldn't come away. She kept saying she'll never be able to pay for a new roof. And where will she go and what will she do? We stayed with her, Mother and me, giving her cups of tea and telling her it'll be all right. Something will turn up, Mother said. Yeah, she's always saying that. When Father gets all inside himself and miserable and silent, when the cows aren't milking well, when he can't afford the timber to build his boats, she always says, don't worry, something will turn up. She never says it to me because she knows I won't believe her. I won't believe her because I know she doesn't believe it herself. She just says it to make him feel better. She just hopes it'll come true. Still, it must have made Granny May feel better. She was her old self again this evening, talking away happily to herself. Everyone on the island calls her a mad old stick, but she's not really mad. She's just old and a bit forgetful. She does talk to herself, but then she's lived almost alone most of her life, so it's not surprising really. I love her because she's my granny, because she loves me and because she shows it. Mother has persuaded her to come and stay for a bit until she can move back into her house again. Billy's in trouble again. He went off to St. Mary's without telling anyone, and he was gone all day. When he got back this evening, he never said a word to me or Granny May. Father buttoned his lip for as long as he could. It's always been the same with Father and Billy. They set each other off. They always have. It's Billy's fault, really, most of the time. He starts it. He does things without thinking, and he says things without thinking. And Father's like a squall. Sorry, a squall is a storm, a small storm. He seems calm and quiet one moment, and then, well, I could feel it coming. He banged the table and shouted, and Billy had no right going off like that, he said, when there was so much to be put right at Granny May's. And Billy told him he'd do what he pleased, when he pleased, and he wasn't anyone's slave. And then he got up from the table and ran out, slamming the door behind him. Mother went after him. Poor Mother, always the peacemaker. Father and Granny May had a good long talk about young folk today and how they don't know how lucky they are these days and how they don't know what hard work is all about. They're still at it downstairs. I went in to see Billy just a few minutes ago. He's been crying, I can tell. He says he doesn't want to talk. He's thinking, he says. Well, that makes a change, I suppose. February 4th. Granny May's roof has been patched up. She moved back home yesterday. We are on our own again. Father said at breakfast he thought Molly would calve down today and that Billy and me should keep an eye on her. Molly's obviously a cow and that she's going to have calves. Billy went off to St Mary's and I went up to check Molly this afternoon on my own. She was lying down by the hedge, her calf curled up beside her. He looked as if he was sleeping at first, but he wasn't. There were flies on his face and his eyes weren't blinking. He was dead and I couldn't make Molly get up. I pushed her, but she wouldn't move. I didn't tell Father because I knew how angry he'd be. We should have been there, Billy or me. One of us should have been there. I fetched Mother instead. She couldn't get Molly on her feet either, so in the end we had to call Father from the boat shed. He tried everything, but Molly just laid her head down on the grass and died. Father sat beside her, stroked her neck and said nothing. But I knew what he was thinking. We only had 4 cows and we just lost the best of them. Then he looked up and said, "Where's that boy?" Mother tried to comfort him, but he wouldn't even answer her. "Just you wait till he gets back. Just you wait." That was all he said. Billy came back down at sundown. I saw him come sailing up Tresco Channel. I ran down to Green Bay to tell him about Molly, to warn him about Father, and then I saw that he was not alone. "This is Joseph Hannibal," said Billy. "He's American, off the General Lee in St Mary's." Joseph Hannibal is a bear of a man with a bushy black beard and twitchy eyebrows that meet in the middle, so he always looks angry. I never had a chance to tell Billy about Molly. He'd brought Joseph Hannibal back to see the island, he said, and they went off together up towards Hell Bay. Here is Joseph and Billy. I didn't see them again until supper. Father sat in a stony silence and Mother smiled all the time, thinly, like she does when she is worried. But after a time she was doing what I was doing, what Billy was doing, what even Father was doing. We were all listening to Joseph Hannibal. He's been all over the world, the South Sea Islands, Australia, Japan, China, the frozen north. He sailed on tea clippers, on steamships, and he's been whaling too. "Yes, sir," he went on, puffing at his pipe. "I've seen whales longer than this entire house, and that's the honest truth." You had to listen to him. I mean, you wanted to listen. You wanted him to go on all night. Then Mother said we should go up to bed, that we had the cows to milk early in the morning. Billy said he wasn't tired, that he'd be up later. He stayed where he was. Father looked at him hard, but Billy didn't seem to notice. He had eyes only for Joseph Hannibal. He still didn't know about Molly, and he's still down there now, talking to Joseph Hannibal. There's something about Joseph, something I don't like, but I'm not sure what it is. One thing I am sure of, though, as soon as he's gone, Father's going to have something to say, and when he does, I wouldn't want to be in Billy's shoes. I'm trying to stay awake by writing this so I can warn him about Molly, but my eyes are pricking, and I can hardly keep them open. All right, I'm going to stop there. So, we're having the scene set for us, okay? So I hope you enjoy it. I'm enjoying it. All right. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.